Hi, my name is Sinus and my sketchbook split in half. So we're gonna do half of a sketchbook tour today. These pages are already falling apart and I'm not really sure how to fix this. Maybe I can super glue it together, but in the meantime, we're just gonna do a sketchbook tour and I wanna show you what I got done so far. And this is so frustrating because literally last week I was like, I need to do better with my sketchbook and I need to fill out more pages because I wanted to do a sketchbook tour so badly. And I don't know who was listening, but they messed up my sketchbook and now I want to do a tour because I don't know if I'm going to keep using this, especially with the pages just falling out. So let's go through some of my doodles. Here is a good page to kind of show off what I'm all about. I really like this page because if you can kind of tell, there's like a face right here. I like making faces sometimes in the drawings, but not ones that look too human. I just like to sort of let the lines flow and then maybe have like, not skull shaped, but like head shaped blob there, and you know, somewhere where you can put the eyes and the cheeks and the lips. And so you might not see it like immediately, but it's there and it's really fun. And it'll just turn into random things here, like this bird, or maybe this mushroom looking thing in the corner. And then on the other side, you can see me just playing with colors and shapes. And this to me looks like, I don't know, like a landmass and clouds. It just looks really cool. And I was just having fun with it. And that's the main thing with my drawings. I just have fun with them. They don't have to mean anything in particular, they just have to be fun. So wacky shapes, wacky colors, that's my thing. On the other page here is another one of my doodles where we just have organic shapes. In this one, there are no faces, nothing that I can identify, no objects or animals, but this is still, to me, something very fun. And if you want to give something like this a try, just like scan any of these pages where I have doodles. You do not have to be like a technically great artist to do something like this, because look, this circle is imperfect. These little hills and bumps here, they're imperfect. These are just swirls. Anyone can do a little swirl on a page. Anyone can do this. Now, here is a doodle that actually became a painting, and I'll show it right here. This is where I got the inspo from, and I think I was just doing this one on a train. Wasn't really thinking about it too much. But it's like some weird alien eel, alien fish butterfly thingy, and it's just so much fun. Even when I'm drawing these things myself, I don't know what the purpose of anything is. Like this rope, someone had asked me if it was like a fishing line or something, and I was like, yeah, I guess it could be like something similar to a fishing line, but it could also be like a worm, a parasite, or I don't know, maybe it's sending signals, something crazy, I don't know. But that's what I love about this, is that a lot of my art is up to interpretation. So this is another good example of me just like drawing something random in my sketchbook, which turned into a painting. Again, I will put it here. But this was so funny because I remember on this day, I didn't particularly want to draw anything. And so I just looked up some random shapes on my phone and was like, just practice those. And so I started going through these. Even these are very imperfect, as you can see. But I started going through these, and after I was done with that, I told myself, hey, just start somewhere, start using these shapes, and this came out. So you can see this one was there. I put in a little heart shape here, just regular old circles there. Another sort of half circle, but it's like, or oval, but it's elongated, and I turned it into a door. This from up here, literally just plugging in these shapes until it made something. And of course there's like a little more flair here, but whatever. You get the general idea. and I thought it looked super cool, so I turned it into a painting, which I was very happy with. One thing I started doing this year was starting to make weird doodles out of names. I had never done it before, but I don't know how I got to this, but this was a very fun exercise. And I just, you know, picked a random name and started to see if I can make something from it. And these popped up. There's Milo, there's Sarah. I really like Sarah. There's Marie and Carlos, and up there is Dave. I really should get back to doing these more often because I feel like I did it like once or twice and then I just kind of stopped. But this is so fun. I love handing this page to people and seeing where they can spot the letters. So like Sarah, it starts off here with the dinosaur. There's the A. The R is kind of hidden in here. And it's just like kind of almost like part of the background or part of this bridge right here. There's another A just stuck in there. It doesn't really do anything, but it's just stuck in there. And then the H, which is part of this little fantasy squirrel door for the woodland creatures and attached to the tree. I also really love Marie. Such a cool one with the fish. I'm quite proud of that one. This is a good page to show off my doodles. I did a YouTube video, Doodle With Me, with this one, which you can go watch. And it didn't take me too long, but I really enjoyed it because I started off with the color. Normally I'll start off with a pen or a black marker, but for this one I just went with the green first and just kind of went crazy with the colors, not too worried about making anything look nice. Like it was like intentionally sort of scribbly, and I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And I don't know, I feel like I see sort of like a Muppet face right here, which I thought was really cool. But it was like covered up by this blob that I did. I don't know, maybe I can take some inspiration from this and do something with it because I really love this, like this eyeballs and this big orange nose and the dramatic eyelashes. And you know what? It kind of looks like a bowling pin. A bowling pin with a face. That's pretty fun actually. Okay, I got my next painting idea. I know what I'm doing. Bowling pin with a face, and it's serving. This is another great page of what I love to do. I filled out this page in probably about an hour, and there's just so much going on, and honestly it's really relaxing because just like all the other art that I do, you do not have to have great technical art skills. If you do and you can implement that into this type of drawing, that would be so cool, and I would love to see it. Like that would be amazing to have like crazy technical skills and this sort of collage-y doodle style. But I also really enjoy doing this because literally all you need is just a pen and paper. And that's it, and you just start wherever. I start somewhere different like every time I do these doodles. Sometimes I'll start from the center, sometimes I'll start from like the corner, sometimes, you know, I'll like try to go up the wall and end, you know, it doesn't really matter. It just makes something cool anyways. And if you're wondering what this is over here, I was trying to think of a design to like paint on a makeup bag, and so I was practicing this. I like the kind of like eggy slime, and I don't know if you can tell, it's like a oyster shape. I'm not sure if I'm gonna paint the purse like this, but I was just trying to think of something. That's why it's all confined into one like rectangular box here. This is another good page. I don't think it's as good as this one, but this one is very fun. And I did make a YouTube video on this one just showing how I doodled, and please go check that one out because I had a lot of fun making that. Alright, so I'm sure you've seen plenty of pages like this one that I haven't talked about yet, and those are the Pinterest pages where I'm just like literally either trying to copy a one-for-one or adding my own flair, but either way all of these references are coming from Pinterest. This one I did last week actually, and I had a lot of fun. And I love these references that I pulled from, and I really want to kind of integrate sort of this style of art with mine. So hopefully I'll be posting something like that in the future, because I've been doing this for a long time and it stayed on the same technical level for a long time. And while it's really fun, I think it would be super cool to integrate like this type of art with it to make something like even more whimsical. Here we are back here with all of the Pinterest drawings. Well, most of them are, especially like these ones. And this one I was just practicing using the pen to make different thickness levels in the lines. Just playing with lines, so the next time that I do a doodle like this, like I can be more, or I can have more variation of the line thickness and play with that. This I didn't directly pull off of Pinterest, but there was like an octopus in the same style, so I kind of tried to emulate that a little bit and thought it came out really cool. And thank you to everyone who posts their stuff on Pinterest. Y'all are a blessing. This one I kind of pulled off of Pinterest and kind of didn't, because I made the blobs, all the random blobs to put patterns in, but once again I just went on Pinterest and looked up different patterns to practice, and I thought this was a pretty fun exercise. I would definitely recommend this to anyone who wants to play with patterns and shapes. And it just kind of helps you get into the groove and give you ideas on what you want to do for your next project. And then over here on this side, I also just found this setting on Pinterest, but I added my own colors and patterns to it. And I use Posca markers for this, which are very lovely. And I love that the colors are so bold. I think this just came out to a fun room, and it was a nice practice because I hadn't done anything remotely realistic in a long time. So I enjoyed making that. Let's see, another background that I plucked off of Pinterest. This reminds me of the vibe that I want to cultivate. Just very kind of boho and chill. This would be like my happy place if it wasn't a drawing. It makes me think of houses in coastal cities that have like a sunroom, and how relaxing it is to just sit in there sometimes and watch the ocean or just look at nature, you know, have a cup of tea and just relax. Definitely my happy place. Over here I was still practicing drawing buildings and backgrounds, and what was fun about this one is that, as you can see, I used permanent marker, which forced me to keep drawing even if I made mistakes, and I think it turned out pretty well. I think drawing with things that don't allow you to erase really helps you learn and be okay with failure. Because then, like, when I do my art, I do make a lot of mistakes or draw things that I think, oh, I don't think that's gonna work out. But if you keep pushing yourself, you'll learn and make something cool. No, we talked about this one, but on the other side here, I also did this one like literally just a few days ago before my sketchbook fell apart, and once again with the ink, it just helped me just try something without worrying about how perfect it looked. I mean, you can see here this like rectangle here for this window is crooked, but I just kept going anyways, and I kind of like this like sketchy factor. It kind of reminds me of like Shel Silverstein and his style, even though his is not as sketchy as this. But I like just the jagged lines. I think it creates a lot of character. here we go with another Pinterest drawing, but I added my own flair to it with this snail on the mushrooms. Oh, I didn't think I knew how to draw anything realistic, but this was so much fun. And I keep telling myself to also make this into a painting because I like these colors. It's like a little alien snail, and right up here with the eyeballs, I don't know if it gives you the same vibes, but I see like cupcakes for eyeballs, which I think is hilarious. And maybe if I did this again, I could definitely make it more pronounced with the cupcake eyeballs and give this pink part like a wrapper texture and maybe put some frosting on top. That would be hilarious. Don't look at that. There's a reason why I don't draw faces. There's a reason why I don't draw faces. They're so frustrating. Years ago, I used to practice them and I got a little bit better. But this is like, drawing humans is one of the things that frustrates me. It's not for me. Maybe if I put in the time and effort to intentionally really practice it, I'll come back to it. But I don't really do faces, and I tried. And I was like, I'm not having fun. Not doing faces. Don't look at it. But we got plants here. Look how pretty the plants are. Look how pretty the plants are. And all my mistakes in the plants, but it's still so cute. I love it. And here we have more mushrooms. And I thought I did pretty good considering I did not, I don't think or did I? Not for this one. For this one I used pencil, you can see it, but I don't think I used pencil for this one. But very cool. And I just kept using Pinterest to just draw different things, and especially because this is getting towards the beginning of the sketchbook. I know I'm all over the place right now. I apologize. But towards the beginning of the sketchbook, I was really like, just use your references, get back into drawing, get back into the flow. And I thought it worked out pretty decently. Yeah, we have other little things here. And then, here we go. It's a mix of both the doodle and the Pinterest picture. And I kind of love how it was like just slowly morphing together. I think this one would be fun to redo on a larger scale as well. Kind of like a trippy Squidward vibe. So yeah, let me know if you want to see that one. Because I'll do a video on that if you want. So that was my sketchbook tour. Thank you for watching. Please go check out my other videos and show some love on there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!